You do not need to be creative to be a graphic designer. You just need 3 simple things, 3 principles, and these 3 principles will help you get started on graphic design today. Hello and welcome to another episode of Dare to Design. I am your host, the Master Jake, and I have been designing for 11 years. That is crazy to think about. It's a long time, I know. But guys, you do not have to be creative to design. I am on a mission to encourage designers to step out into their artistic passion and chase what they really want to chase. And if that's graphic design, I am here to help. So even in the world of AI, even in the world of all these, unforeseen new technologies, yes, you can still exist as a graphic designer, and I'm here to show you how. But that is a whole separate video. Guys, you do not need to be creative to be a graphic designer. You just need 3 simple things, 3 principles, and these 3 principles will help you get started on graphic design today. But first, before we get into that, if you guys find this video interesting at all, if you guys get anything from this content, if you guys get any sort of tips, tricks, anything like that, guys, feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and definitely ring the bell for more notifications. Oh my goodness, where did that note come from? So guys, when I first started graphic designing, I was just a beginner, and I just started designing out of nowhere, out of the blue. My uncle one day was like, hey, I need a logo. I'm opening up a restaurant. I need this. And 4 words changed my life completely. I'll do the logo. Changed my life. And I cannot believe it ever since then. So I went home at night, found some random design software that I still use to this day. And I stayed up all night just studying and literally just stayed up all night. Not even necessarily like researching, but I was just playing with the design software, trying to manipulate this and manipulate that, change this font, change this color, change this. And then all of a sudden I stayed up all night, and then I became addicted to it. And here I am 11 years later, and I've been chasing just deeper into graphic design ever since. And I am so happy. It's allowed me to design for big companies, small companies. It's allowed me to travel. Guys, it has opened up a crazy amount of opportunities. And I am so much more happier for it. Before we get into these 3 basic principles that you need to graphic design, you're probably going to need to know what graphic design is. So the Google definition of graphic design is a profession or academic discipline and applied art that involves creating visual communications intended to transmit specific messages to social groups with specific objectives. That just sounds like a lot of words. That just sounds like a lot of big words. I'm going to give you my definition of graphic design, which is communication through a digital art form. That's all it is. We are communicating through a digital art form. That could be through a form of a logo. That could be through a form of a website. That could be through a form of a flyer. That could be through a form of multitude of things, but we are communicating through a digital art form. So all you need is 3 things to get started today as a graphic designer. So you are going to want to focus on these 3 things if you want to start graphic designing. One is color. The second is going to be typography, and the second is going to be format. So getting into color. So here's your homework, challenge per se. Here's your homework, preferably not while you're driving. When you're out and about, I want you guys to look around you and see anything that you see. So I want you guys to look around you and see what is pulling at you, right? I just want you guys to focus on what is pulling your attention. And usually it's going to be one thing that pulls your attention. It's going to be a color. Colors have energy. Colors mean something. So as we get into color theory, did you guys know that every single color actually has a meaning? Yes, every single color has a meaning. So for example, we have our red, our blues, our greens, our blacks, our greens, our turquoises, our purples. I could go all day long, especially when we get into like hex codes and things like that, which is a whole nother video. But guys, so for example, take the color red. Red is emergency, it's urgency, it's there, it's boom, 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 it's in your face, it's like, it has a certain energy. That's why stop signs are what? Red. It's designed to get your attention. Red just naturally pulls at your eye. Black, for example, is standard, it's formal, it's just there. Black is always there. It's kind of just the eye's used to it. Not to say black's a bad color, but it's a standard color. Good, black can kind of fit with everything, right? Green is landscaping, it's trees, it's nature. And what is the color of money? Exactly, green. Blue is like a calm, it's, ocean, it's, just relaxing. Blue is also a very corporate color too as well. So guys, these colors have meaning, and there's a reason that businesses use specific colors in their logos. There's a reason that branding has specific colors in their branding. Number 2 is going to be typography. Please, 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 when you guys are just diving into this world of graphic design, understand that you can choose so many cool fonts, but understand that it has to be understandable. You have to be able to read the font. You have to be able to see the font clearly and understand what the font says. Because if you're designing for a client, their clients are not going to know what their business is if they can't read their logo. So the fonts are cool, and yes, there's a million different fonts you can use. You can do so many different types of fonts, but we have to understand that the font has to be clear to be able to read. So when we talk about, so a big part of the graphic design is font manipulation, changing fonts to match the icon, or changing fonts to fit with the icon, or changing fonts to just relay an image or communicate something. We can manipulate fonts to, show a certain graphic. So that's a large part of graphic design, is using the font to communicate what we want to communicate. I see so many fonts out there. I'm like, I can't even read what your font is, but you have to understand that that part of the business is very, very important, because people have to be able to understand what you are trying to say. So as you're going through and choosing fonts, for example, I'm just going to use the Indian motorcycle because I have the poster in front of me, not the actual motorcycle. I have a poster in front of me. It says Indian motorcycle, but it's Indian with a different type of writing. And it's not just your standard format, because a motorcycle is it's a very freeing feeling. You're out there, you're out in the wind. It's a very, adventurous feeling. So you can't just have some plain, boring corporate font. You have to have something that's fun, right? Or else people aren't going to want to gravitate towards it. So you still can make the font fun, but make sure it's clear and understandable. But start playing around with different fonts, start manipulating different fonts, and you guys will see what I mean. Number 3 is formatting. So you may know exactly what you want to communicate to your audience or to your clients, but you have to know how to organize it. And that's what it is. That's what formatting is. It's organization. You have to be able to organize your thoughts clearly on the page in a graphical sense. So for example, if you're designing a logo, that's going to have different formatting rules than a flyer. For example, a logo, you may want stacked, or you may want horizontal, or you may want a little bit of both. Depends on what you are designing for. For example, for a logo, you're going to have different pictures, you're going to have different words, and you have to figure out, okay, where do I want this picture? Where do I want this word? And you're going to have to figure out where those things are going to go, and you have to place it clearly and organize it in a way that makes sense, in a way that people can understand it. Software that you guys can get you started today, that is cadworkslive.com. I first started off with that. I love it. It's a great software for those designers starting out. It's very basic, and you guys can really create anything you want from that software, and it's completely free. And Adobe Express. You don't need to get the paid version of Adobe Express. Just start with the free version. I definitely encourage you to start there. Business owners, and really quick bonus tip, business owners, if you guys are not necessarily wanting to be a full-time graphic designer, but you are looking for a way for your business and your brand to be able to communicate to your clients clearly and start building a brand, I need you to understand this. You have to have a brand story. That has to be the first thing you have. You have to have the brand story first. The brand story, everything comes from the brand story. So that mission, that why you do what you do, the vision of the business, everything has to come from there. So every single piece of font, every single piece of, like, every color, every single thing, every single asset that you put out, your logo, your flyers, your website, everything has to match the brand story, because all that is communicating your brand story, because it all aligns. So, and that's a very, very, very basic fundamentals of branding. So guys, there you have it. There is the 3 tips to get started in graphic design today. If you guys want to learn any more and you want to dig deeper, guys, please, I encourage you, click the link in the bottom or in the below. We're going to have a link to my course that I'm actually building a course around, this topic, getting started in graphic design, and, really chasing that and understanding the fundamentals of graphic design and how to design with AI as well. So definitely click the link, guys. It will take you where you guys can register to get early access to my course. I appreciate you guys. If you guys found this information at all helpful, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and definitely hit the bell for more notifications, because I will be posting videos on the regular, and I'm so excited, guys. And most importantly, don't forget to dare to design. I'm out.
It's the Master J.